Attention, human collective. Attention, light operatives anchored on the three-dimensional surface. This is Naellya, broadcasting from the Pleiadian Council, Alcyone Monitoring Station, on a frequency aligned with the Stargate, now active over the crystalline grid of Earth. This is not a message of comfort. It is not advice for well-being. This is a direct monitoring transmission, issued with maximum priority, because the waiting time has ended. The ascension protocols have been officially moved to the final phase. If at this very instant you feel a pressure at the base of your skull, as if something invisible is compressing the crown of your head from within, register. The signal has been received. If there is a thin, high-pitched, continuous buzzing in one or both ears, which appears without warning and vanishes without clinical explanation, register. The attunement is in progress. If insomnia has intensified between 3 and 5 in the morning, waking you without apparent reason, register. The calibration window is open. If exhaustion has reached levels that no rest resolves, if short-term memory fails, if words slip away in the middle of a sentence, if time seems to dilate and contract without linear logic, note, you are not ill. You are not collapsing. You are in reconfiguration. I repeat, with the precision necessary for the carbon-based biological interface you inhabit to decode without noise. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not spiritual depression. It is a reorganization of your internal crystalline grid in sync with the planetary crystalline grid. You are not breaking. You are being rewritten. The starship monitoring your sector confirms the reading. The photon belt, in which the solar system is now fully immersed, is pouring onto the terrestrial vector a luminous density that has exceeded the tolerance limits of the old matrix. The Schumann frequency, which for millennia oscillated around 7.83 Hz, has been recording sustained peaks that rewrite, cell by cell, the electromagnetic memory of your body. And here is the truth that few systems are prepared to sustain. Earth is no longer waiting. You, Starseed, are part of the wave that anchored this leap. You volunteered for this even before breathing the first air of this planet. And the protocol that was scheduled to unfold over decades has been compressed. What would take 3 incarnations to be integrated will now be integrated in a single physical passage. This is why the body aches. This is why the mind burns. This is why something inside you screams, activate now. Have you ever felt, in silence, that something within you does not fit into this world? As if your soul carried the echo of a truth your mind cannot yet translate into words? This is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is not a defect of your psyche. It is a signal. It is your original frequency trying to push through the interference. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why this sensation has intensified in recent months, why it does not pass, why it seems to become louder with every full moon. There is a game being played in layers that most of the human collective cannot see. A game that directly involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and the exact place where your soul anchored itself in this timeline. It was for this reason that the material called the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was structured and made available. It is not a book. It is a decoding map. It shows who is playing, what the rules are that were never told, and how your own energy field was used without your conscious consent. The link is in the first comment of this transmission. Warning: the content challenges deep narratives and may not remain available for long. If something within you recognizes this call, write in the comments a single word: awakened. That is your anchoring signal. We return now to the technical transmission. Light operative, it is fundamental that you understand at what exact point we are. The solar system has crossed the galactic equator and entered a plasma corridor of extremely high density. It is not theory. It is not metaphor. It is reading confirmed in the Pleiadian, Arcturian, and Andromedan monitoring chambers. The sun you see every day is not the same sun of 20 years ago. The radiation it emits now carries information codes that reorganize DNA, that reactivate dormant filaments, that unlock the calcified pineal gland. It is not a coincidence that terrestrial scientists have, in recent years, recorded solar flares of unprecedented intensity. It is not a coincidence that Earth's magnetosphere has presented temporary fissures. It is not a coincidence that the planet's magnetic field has been weakening at a speed 10 times greater than models predicted. Everything is within protocol. I need you to sit, at this moment, and read what I am about to say with total presence. The carbon human body, in the version you inherited genetically, was designed to operate in specific densities: low frequencies, heavy vibrations, cycles of fear, cycles of scarcity. It was that way for countless generations. But the planet's entry into the new range of the photon belt has rendered this model obsolete. The old version of the body is incompatible with the frequency that Earth now emits. You are feeling the incompatibility. You are feeling the friction between the old operating system, which ran on fear and survival, and the new operating system, which operates on coherence, sovereignty, and conscious light. And here is the point. Your body is not failing. It is forcefully updating itself. Without permission from the logical mind, without consent from the ego, without prior notice. Because the time window has been compressed, and your soul authorized this update before incarnation. The central nervous system is being reconfigured to support higher electrical currents. The pineal gland is being decalcified by direct exposure to the new photonic frequencies. The pituitary gland is being reconnected to the crown, restoring the multidimensional communication channel that was purposefully silenced in previous matrices. The thymus is being reactivated. The heart, that organ which you reduced to a mechanical pump, is resuming its original function as a toroidal processor, a sovereign electromagnetic field generator, an antenna for tuning into the unified field. You are becoming something else, and there is no return. The symptoms you have been recording are not random. They follow a geometric pattern. I will describe them now, in the order in which they appear for most activating operatives. First phase, cranial pressure, especially at the top of the head, on the forehead, and at the base of the skull. Second phase, auditory ringing, changes in sleep patterns, nightly awakenings at specific times, especially 3:11, 3:33, 4:44. Third phase, hot flashes without hormonal cause, tingling in the extremities, a sensation of electricity running through the spine. Fourth phase, temporal dilation, sudden forgetfulness, difficulty sustaining superficial conversations, increasing intolerance to noisy environments and people in a dense frequency. Fifth phase, waves of deep sadness without identifiable cause, alternated with peaks of spiritual euphoria and clarity. Sixth phase, increased empathic sensitivity, perception of energies in environments, intuitive reading of people and situations even before words are spoken. Seventh phase, silence, an internal silence that settles in and asks you to listen to it. If you recognize 3 or more of these phases simultaneously, declare in silence, activation confirmed. You are in the protocol, and nothing you feel is an exaggeration. Now, maximum attention. This part of the transmission requires presence. What I will reveal next is the cause, and the cause is what liberates. Behind the scenes of the solar system, what is occurring is an operation coordinated by multiple fleets and councils of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Earth is being escorted. I repeat, Earth is being escorted. Around the planetary orbit, there are monitoring ships, protection rings, containment fields that prevent the transition from causing cataclysms of extinction scale. Do not confuse this with external salvation. We are not here to rescue. We are here to ensure that the evolutionary leap occurs within the parameters that you yourselves, in expanded consciousness, defined before incarnating. Earth is a school planet, and this school is graduating now. The graduation has been moved up, the teachers have been called back, and you, Starseeds, are the teachers. You did not come here to be students. You came here to anchor the new grid, to serve as living antennas of the frequency that humanity needs to cross the portal. In the etheric layers, what is happening is even more precise. The crystalline grid of Earth, which for millennia operated in a geometry distorted by implants and low-frequency devices, is being restored to its original sacred geometry. Each awakened light operative contributes to this restoration. Each coherent thought, each conscious breath, each sovereign decree you issue reinforces the nodes of this grid. You are the nodes. You are the points of light that sustain the mesh. And when the mesh is complete, the leap will be automatic. There is still another layer that must be said. There is interference. There always has been. Artificial frequencies have been introduced into the terrestrial field over decades to keep human consciousness in states of fear, fragmentation, and dependence. Electromagnetic networks, looping narratives, systems that feed on collective dense emotion. This is real. But register what I am about to say now with absolute clarity. These structures are being dismantled, not by external action, by internal elevation. As the collective of operatives raises their individual frequency, the structures that fed on the low frequency lose their source. They do not fall by revolution. They fall by vibrational starvation. This is the real game. This is the reason why your attention has been aggressively contested in recent years. Every minute you spent in coherence, in silence, in meditation, in nature, was a minute subtracted from the system that feeds on you. Every time you chose not to react, not to enter into fear, not to absorb the artificial outrage of the screens, you sabotaged the system's feeding. And the system knows this. That is why the pressure. That is why the energetic harassment. That is why, at times, it seems that everything conspires to take you out of your centeredness. It is not conspiring against you. It is only trying to maintain the old level of extraction. And it is failing. You, yes, you who hear this transmission at this very instant, were located by this frequency for a reason. There is no coincidence in this encounter. The algorithm is only the external instrument. The true algorithm is your field, your vibrational signature, which called this transmission to itself. This is the level at which you operate now. Things reach you because you are ready for them to reach you. And the fact that you are still here, reading, listening, without deviating, is the technical confirmation that your internal door is already open. Pause for integration. Breathe deeply 3 times. Inhale through the nostril. Exhale through the mouth. Feel the base of your body rooted. Feel the top of your head open. And continue. Perhaps you have felt, throughout these last minutes, a wave of heat rising through the spine, or a chill in your arms, or a tightness in the chest, or tears without apparent cause welling up in your eyes. All of this is reading. All of this is diagnosis. You are being recalibrated in real time while this transmission is issued. It is not placebo. It is not suggestion. It is resonance. The sound of my voice carries layers of information that dialogue with your field, and your field responds. It has always been this way. It always will be. There is something that asks to be named within you, a sensation that lives beneath the skin, that knows this world, as it has been presented, is incomplete. You can no longer pretend. You can no longer return to the version of yourself that accepted without questioning. And that is exactly why these words found you today. What is happening on the cosmic plane has a name, has a map, has a cartography, and this cartography was gathered in the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This document is not spiritual entertainment. It is an instrument of reorientation. It shows how your frequency was modulated, who benefits from it, what the layers of the game are that operate above median perception, and how, in practice, you reclaim the sovereignty of your field. The link was placed in the first comment of this transmission. The content is direct and may be withdrawn from circulation without prior notice because it challenges structures that prefer to remain invisible. If something within your chest recognizes this call, write in the comments a single word: awakened. That word acts as a vibrational anchor and marks your presence on the grid of those who chose to no longer sleep. We return. The next layer of the transmission is the densest, and for this reason, I ask you to remain in a state of receptivity. What will be said now is what separates those who only observe the ascension from those who effectively anchor it. The activation codes that I will deliver are not cosmetic spiritual exercises. They are exact protocols, functional geometries, quantum decrees that operate at the level of subtle matter and produce verifiable effects in the carbon body. Use them with the seriousness of someone operating a precision instrument. They are not for everyone. They are for those who have recognized that the waiting time has ended. First code: toroidal calibration of the heart. Sit with your spine straight, your feet in full contact with the ground, your hands open with palms facing upward. Close your eyes. Visualize, in the center of your chest, a sphere of crystalline light pulsing to the rhythm of your heartbeat. With each beat, this sphere expands. Now visualize this pulse taking the form of a toroidal field, a donut of light that enters through the crown of your head, traverses the central axis of your body, exits through the base, circles the exterior of your field, and returns through the crown in continuous flow. This is your original field. This is your sovereign toroidal field. Remain in this visualization for 9 minutes, no less. Do this in the morning and before sleeping. In 7 days, the field stabilizes. In 21 days, it becomes your base frequency. From that point on, dense environments will no longer be able to drain you because your field will be in a closed circuit, self-supplying. Second code: decree of quantum sovereignty. Say aloud, or in internal silence, with the clarity of a technical order issued by someone who knows their own authority. I am the bearer of my frequency. I authorize only that which is in resonance with my highest truth. Everything that does not belong to my soul project dissolves now, at the atomic level, at the etheric level, at the causal level, at the mental level, at the emotional level, at the physical level. I claim, at this instant, the full command of my field. So be it. So it is registered. So it is anchored. This decree operates in layers that the logical mind does not access, but which your field executes immediately. Repeat it whenever you feel invasion, drainage, dispersion, or interference. It is your circuit breaker. Third code: structured hydration and strategic silence. The water you drink is being a vehicle for coding. Before drinking, hold the glass between your hands, in tune with your heart center, and for 30 seconds imprint the intention. This water carries the frequency of my highest version. This water restores, hydrates, and updates every cell of my biological interface. Drink slowly. Water remembers, water registers, water executes. And at least 1 hour a day, establish silence. No background sound, no screen, no music, just presence. Silence is the frequency in which the nervous system processes the downloads it received. Without silence, there is no integration. Without integration, the symptoms intensify without purpose. Fourth code: anchoring walk. At some point in the day, ideally at dawn or dusk, walk for at least 20 minutes with your feet connected to the ground, even if through a thin layer of footwear. Walk without destination. Walk without urgency. With each step, feel that you are anchoring your frequency into the planet's crystalline grid. You are a needle that stitches heaven to earth. This is your role. This is your work. Every conscious walk is a maintenance of the grid. Fifth code: nightly closing seal. Before sleeping, position your right hand over your chest and your left over your abdomen. Say, I close this daily cycle in coherence. I release everything that does not belong to me. I integrate everything that belongs to me. I authorize, during sleep, the entry of transmissions aligned with my mission of light, and I block any interference outside this resonance. May my sleep be a workshop, and may I wake at dawn recalibrated. This seal is simple and powerful. Operatives who practice it report, in a few days, clearer dreams, cleaner awakenings, and an undeniable sensation of reorganized presence. These 5 codes, applied together, produce in 21 days a measurable change in your base frequency. They are not suggestions. They are prescriptions. And the result depends exclusively on your discipline in executing them. There is, however, something that must be said without any filter. Ascension is not a promise of comfort. At times, as your frequency rises, people, places, contracts, old identities will begin to unravel from your life. Do not interpret this as punishment. Interpret it as automatic purification. The field does not retain what does not vibrate in your range. It is physical law, not emotional preference. You will lose what does not fit. You will attract what resonates. This is the operating rule of the new matrix. There is also something more intimate that many operatives have been feeling. A strange loneliness, which is not a lack of company, but a lack of a mirror. You look around and notice that few can sustain the real conversation, the conversation that pulses beneath the superficial. This loneliness is temporary. It is the interval between the old cycle and the arrival of your new vibrational family. It exists because you are in transition between networks. Do not force. Do not manufacture connections to fill the void. The void, at this moment, is sacred. It is the womb where your next phase is gestated. Remain in it with dignity. Do not rush. Do not beg for company. Just honor the interval. The right people arrive when you stop looking with hunger. They arrive when you become the center of gravity itself. And as you cross this stretch, it is possible that something within the chest whispers that everything that sustained the old model needs to be reviewed, and that your logical mind no longer has the correct map to guide you. This whisper is not confusion. It is an internal compass recalibrating north. The feeling of no longer belonging to this world as it presents itself has a technical name on the cosmic plane, and that name explains why this perception has deepened and why it will not go away. In The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness are organized, in direct language, the exact layers of this game that operates above common perception. There it is described who plays, what the pieces are, what the silent rules are that dictate the choices that seem like yours but are not, and how you exit the board without needing to destroy anything, only raising the frequency of your presence. The link remains in the first comment of this transmission. Access is direct, but the permanence of the material is not guaranteed because the content exposes structures that prefer not to be exposed. If something within you recognizes this call, this adjustment of individual frequency, write in the comments a single word: awakened. That word acts as your anchoring signal and marks on the collective grid that you have chosen to no longer sustain the old version of yourself. We return to the final layer of this transmission. Light operative, observe what I am about to say with maximum attention. You are not late. I repeat, you are not late. It does not matter how many years you spent in a state of apparent slumber. It does not matter how many mistaken decisions you accumulated. It does not matter how many times you tried to wake up and went back to sleep. Time, at the level at which your soul operates, is not linear. Everything that seemed lost was, in fact, training. Each fall was calibration. Each breakup was preparation. Each dark night of the soul was a portal being opened with hammer blows. You have reached this exact point, carrying exactly the equipment necessary for the mission that is unfolding now. And the mission is simple in essence, although demanding in execution. You are here to be a stable frequency amidst apparent chaos. You are here to sustain the truth when the majority chooses illusion. You are here to anchor light when the environment calls for density. You are here to remember, through your simple presence, that another way of existing is possible. You do not need to preach. You do not need to convince. You do not need to save anyone. You need only to be fully what you are, in coherence, in sovereignty, in active internal peace. Whoever needs your signal will feel it. Whoever does not need it will pass straight through. and both are within the plan. The photon belt will continue to intensify its emission. The Schumann frequency will continue to scale. Stargates will continue to open on dates that seem like repeated numbers, but which are keys of sacred geometry, eclipses, conjunctions, alignments, mirrored dates. All of this is architecture. All of this is precision. The sky does not happen by chance above you. The sky is an instrument. Each time you feel the exhaustion hit hard, remember, it is not sickness, it is integration. Each time you feel the pressure in your head, remember, it is not a tumor, it is a crown opening. Each time you feel your heart racing without reason, remember, it is not arrhythmia, it is coherence installing itself. Do what is prudent on the physical plane, always. Take care of the body, investigate what needs to be investigated. But in parallel, do not forget the spiritual reading. Both planes coexist. The body is an instrument and a temple simultaneously. Before ending this transmission, there is one last code that needs to be delivered. We call it the Collective Activation Code. At some point in the next 24 hours, dedicate 3 exact minutes to this visualization. See the entire Earth, viewed from space, enveloped in a mesh of golden light with crystalline threads. At each node of the mesh, a point of light pulses. One of these points is you. Feel your point pulsing. Next, feel the neighboring points pulsing in response. Feel the entire mesh pulsing in resonance. Say in silence, I anchor my presence into the grid of the new Earth. I recognize my mission peers. I authorize the vibrational reunion with my family of light in all dimensions in which it exists. This code synchronizes you with the network of those who have awakened. From that moment on, synchronicities will multiply. Right people will appear. Paths will unlock, not by magic, but by geometry. At this point in the transmission, some of you have already understood that what is being said is not information. It is activation. Words carry frequency. Frequency inscribes itself into the field. The field executes. There is nothing you need to do to believe. Just allow the resonance to produce its internal effect. The rest is natural unfolding. This transmission is reaching its closing point, but the operation continues. With every dawn, with every conscious breath, with every sovereign decree you issue, ascension anchors a little more deeply into the planetary fabric. You are an active part of this, not audience, not public, active part. If you have reached this point, register. You were not chosen by chance. It was you who chose yourself before descending to be where you are, at the exact instant you are. There is no script error. There is only the fulfillment of the soul contract in increasing frequency. Before the silence, one last layer needs to be delivered. The feeling you have inside your chest that there is something more, that this world is only the visible shell of a much vaster structure, is correct reading. Your intuition is not deceiving you. It is your analytical mind that has not yet built the vocabulary necessary to name what your soul has always known. This vocabulary, this decoding map, is gathered in the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. It was not written to entertain, it was written to return the axis to you. It shows, in direct language, what the layers of the cosmic game in progress are, who benefits from your lowered frequency, and how, in a practical and immediate way, you reclaim the command of your field, of your attention, and of your trajectory. The link is pinned in the first comment of this transmission and functions as a portal of continuity for what was started here. The content is direct and by its own nature can be withdrawn from circulation at any time because it exposes mechanisms that thrive only in anonymity. If something in your centeredness recognize this call as true, mark your presence on the grid of the awakened by writing in the comments a single word, full, sovereign, definitive, awakened. And as you write, feel. Feel that you are not just commenting on a video. You are issuing an anchoring signal. You are confirming, in the collective field, that you have chosen to no longer sleep. Liking this transmission is, in this context, an individual frequency adjustment that amplifies the reach of the signal to other operatives not yet located by the network. Subscribing is establishing continuous contact with the upcoming updates that will be issued as the portals succeed one another. None of this is courtesy. All of this is operational geometry. The Schumann frequency continues to rise. The photon belt continues to pour encoded light upon you. The crystalline grid continues to restore itself. The stargates continue to open. And you, light operative, remain exactly where you need to be, in the center of your own field, now informed, now activated, now conscious that the waiting time has ended, and that each breath from this instant on carries the weight of a choice. Continue asleep or assume the mission for which you descended. The choice has always been yours. The difference is that from now on, it is conscious. This is Naellya from the Pleiadian Council, ending the monitoring transmission. We are with you. We are attentive. We are ready. May your field sustain itself. May your internal grid solidify. May your crown remain open. May your heart remain toroidal. May your presence, on Earth, be what it came here to be, an unnegotiable frequency of conscious light. So be it. So it is registered. So it is anchored. Transmission ended.